whether it's politically or whatever, man. His eyes is privileged set against the poor. Let me know when y'all got it. Y'all can read it.
I'll read it again while you grab it. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And what this made me think of is what's going on in Austria right now. You know, it was just not too long ago where they was offering a little bit of time for free with a woman at a brothel when she took Esau's juice, and then days later, they're heading towards another major lockdown. So this is a meticulous plan of Yahawah being executed on the left-hand side. Yeah, this is all by design. And you got to give credit to who credit is due. Isaiah 45 and 7. It's the Lord controlling all these things. It just depends on what vessel he chooses to use.
I got a quick one real quick. Because the brother Yaquan had made a point dealing with how, it's about to be holiday season. And, they about to give all the gifts and stuff. But, the Lord, Esau giving all that. But, in the midst of that, he give another variant. This is this book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 7. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. So you got all these holidays coming up, but that's going to destroy it. What's another one I'm thinking of? What the scriptures talk about? They say a gift blinds the eyes that you cannot see.
Because the scriptures say they imagine a vain thing. So they try to sit here and do Babylon, but really it's going down. So they use witchcraft
right
in the media.
Right.
Joe Biden talking about what he just say? He said, yeah, you know what I'm talking about? He was like, this is he said America's back. He said, you're back, we're back, America's back again. But this peace and safety, yeah, right there. Oh, they should say peace and safety. That's what I was going to. I don't know if I said that, but as soon as the holidays come around, that's when they hit you another period. Oh, how nobody was sorry.
Yeah, because hey, you know what? Esau's version of America being great again is the NWO, man. But the Lord only gonna allow that to reach a certain people.
Got the article? It's just like a list of the countries that's
I got a list of the
yeah. It'll be like 5 or 6.
Europe, UK, South Africa, India, Brazil, and China for flying into the U.S.
And this is nothing more than Esau's. You know how you play a video game and you got different waves that you gotta go through in order.
Levels.
Yeah. This Yahawah is putting the spirit on Esau to turn up the levels. You see, he coming out with different variants. He blocking different areas off from having access to different parts of the world.
At Revelation 12, he's coming down with great wrath because they know that on the left-hand side, their time is being selected. That's not what I meant to say. They know their time is very, very, very short.
Right.
How do we know that? Because we prime examples. Yahawah outside RAWCHAA, we the men, but the men out there signed a crime with sackcloth, that was prophesied. And they knew, like, once they hit America in large volumes, that they closer and closer to the end.
This book of Revelations, chapter 12 and verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath.
That devil is not the spiritual demon Satan, it's the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, which is the spirit of Esau Edom, which is primarily in these so-called white people.
Right.
We are spiritual. We understand that every single white person is not an Edomite, but most of you are. It goes by the seed of your father. And that seed passed down from Esau, came all that. They end up in the so-called white man.
Right. Real quick, this is the same great wrath that he has since the beginning of time, man.
Right.
The Lord is about to allow Esau to get loose, man. So you just got to get right, because when he do, it's going to be the worst time that was ever in history.
That's why the scripture refers to that as a perpetual hatred.
Exactly. This book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens. It says, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time.
Right, because the scripture says, Job that right before his belly is about to be filled, right?
Exactly.
Paraphrasing, the Lord's gonna come back and shut all this shit down.
Right.
It's defiled anyways, you know. The damn thief, a vagabond, all you do, you bring that vibration of death. And Yahawashi is coming back to conquer death.
The scripture says he is that death. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
What's that? Let's talk about the elect. You know, that time that's worse than slavery, worse than the civil rights era. Worse.
Because the ones that's not delivered was not written in the Lamb's Book of Life.
Right.
You know?
And real quick point, you know, we about to enter into the biggest I told you so ever, man. You know, because now, you know, I was just watching some news, and pretty much it seems like what they saying on the news now is pretty much broadcasting what the prophets was saying this whole time.
Not pretty much. It is. It is. Because, you know, Amalek, you know, running the media, they know. It's like the brother HAQADASH brought out a couple of camps ago. They have a priesthood on the left-hand side.
Right.
They know they know the prophecy just like, you know, the men of the Lord know to a certain extent. And I say that double underline, all caps, to a certain extent. They just know that really who had the blessing. They know our right, I mean, not our right, our customs. And they trying to get the birthright back. They think that, you know, it's a slight chance in hell that they can be the people again, and they can't.
Because Esau was never the people.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of people say water. Yeah.
It was never the people.
Right.
That's why the reconciliation is so important, because you was never in good graces. The other nation was never in good graces with YAHWASHI outside.
Malachi, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to bring out Jeremiah 37 back here. You said Jeremiah 30.
This book of Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. And it says, alas, for that day is great.
What day is that? That's Jacob's trouble. Just like he brought out in Daniel 12. The time worse than slavery, you know, civil rights, the genocide that you wicked ass people just celebrated this Thursday. It's going to be way worse than that. That's why Amos 5, they compare the different perils to animals. And then when you finally feel like you got some rest, it's a snake on the damn wall.
It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day. Well, that's pretty much it on that.
It's time. So it's going to be so bad, like you read, that Michael, the archangel, is going to stand up. Right. That's that same point in Revelation, I believe, the 18th chapter, when her sins have reached to heaven. That's a boiling point. This system is on its last leg. It's just like when you see an old person fall and it's happening kind of slow, and this motherfucker about to drop soon.
Yeah, Genesis 49, Lord said, who shall rouse them up? You know?
Right.
The scripture said they're going to be as a wild bull in the net. You know, so the people going to be going buck wild. You know? I'm going to keep reading. It says, this is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 18. Woe to you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him.
Right. So the different animals that he just read about, those represent different perils. I'll keep reading that back from the top of the shop.
Like Amos chapter 5, verse 19. 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of YAHWASHI.
So these people, and when I say these people, I primarily mean Christians, and even people fall under that Islam vibration. They think that when the Lord comes back, it's going to be damn near a soul train line. Everybody high five and hugging. It's just like, wow, we're so glad to see you. But that's not what the book says.
Right. The scripture said that the day of the Lord, what did it say? Darkness. The day of the Lord is darkness, man. Hey. All right, and real quick,
I got another point real quick.
It's a series on Netflix called Hellbound. Let's check that out. It's pretty Hellbound. You know, dealing with how yeah, you see, it's some pretty much people got a designated hour where they was told that they was gonna die, and when that hour comes, these big ass motherfucking monster looking demons just fucking brutally fuck their ass up, man. You know, and the whole series, I ain't watched the whole thing just yet, but the whole so far the series is based upon if this is actually sent by the Lord. You know what I mean? Like people like, you know, why would God, you know, do something like this? You know what I mean? But you know, these things are coming out of the scriptures. YAHWASHI, he said that the day of the Lord is darkness, man. You know?
Amos 5, verse 18. Woe to you that desire the day of Yahweh by Yahushua. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
Right, because that day is going to be gloomy for you if you're not written in the Lamb's book of life. You know, people think the rapture is just a bunch of souls floating up, Gentile, natural heathen souls, like everybody just mixed together to meet sweet baby Jesus Christ, and that's not it. That's not it at all.
Yeah, because the letter J didn't come about till like the late 1500s, I think. 1524. You know? So, hey, you could keep calling on the J, but the day that vibration wasn't around. You know? Amos 5, verse 19. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and laid his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him.
Now, you got to break that, like, think about it. Actually visualize that.
It showed you that show Black Summer. It's like a zombie movie, but you know what I'm saying? Like when it first started off, it was chaotic. And, you know, you running from this place, then you zombie come this way, you gotta hop in, then you go over here. You know what I'm saying? And then you think you're safe, and then another one pop up. So that's pretty much how it's gonna be so chaotic from one place to another. People gonna be rioting, looting, you know, just taking advantage of individuals, you know, ravaging women.
Yeah, that's what
you're gonna have people jumping in like secret areas. Right. And niggas already gonna be hiding there. Yeah, another one was
oh yeah,
wow. But there's another one called Bushwick on Netflix.
This book of Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near. See, this is what we've been saying the whole time. The day of the Lord is near. You got Jake talking about, well, you been saying that. Well, you know, it's not
keep saying
right.
it. We're gonna keep saying it to the charity here.
Right. And it's not these things come to pass, you know, so that's just, you know, full of ignorance. It says, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasten greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly.
This will be an actual voice.
It goes on to say that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, right? And you know, Jacob sit up here and say, y'all depressing, or you know, y'all always talk about something negative, but at the same time, we trying to save your life, man. You know, you know, Jacob said that like these things are not come to pass. You see, like Yahweh
something bad was gonna happen to you. Wouldn't you want to know?
Right.
Or something bad could potentially happen to you. Wouldn't you want to know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess not. I could do that in Walmart. I said, hey, if I told you to go and get crack in the phone, you gonna still go outside?
Right.
Said, yes, so. Like, dumbass, you know? But that's how people think. If Esau has deprived their way to naturally think and to like they don't even have a conscience anymore. They're robots. They can't think of themselves. That's why they're gonna get bit. They're gonna lean on the house. They're gonna go in the house, lean on the house, and the serpent is gonna bite them. You know, and pretty much, you know, there's a precept I got here in 2 Kings. You know, they trust in Egypt, man. They trust in Egypt, so they're gonna end up taking that mark. Because when the chaos break out, the only way, foreseeable way to safety and security is gonna be the chip, but they're gonna reset everything.
Exactly.
It says here in 2 Kings chapter 18, verse 21, now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. so is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, unto all that trust in him. And that's really going into that mark, which is the Armani microchip. Okay, the mark of the beast, and the people that trust in this Pharaoh, which is Esau, is likened unto the modern day Pharaoh in Romans the 9th chapter. So the people that trust on this man, they're gonna get pierced.
Right. And you know what? Because the Lord gave Esau power too. It was an account, I think that was Moses who had a staff. The Lord told him to put a staff and it turned into a serpent. But then I think that was Egyptians, they turned around and they had magi's and they did the same thing with their staff. So it's the same thing today. YAHWASHI got the prophets out here, with this sword. But then he got Esau on the other side with his sword. So you either gonna trust in YAHWASHI sword or you gonna trust in the staff of Egypt, right?
Back to Brother Yakama, this is Isaiah chapter 31, verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and the horses because they are very strong.
Right. Because the scriptures say that, their horses are flesh, man. But the Lord's horses are, matter of fact, ain't that in the same verse? Okay, come on.
And horses because they are very strong, but they look not to the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
Right, and they look not to the Holy One of Israel because they see Esau's current power. They see how Esau's glory is in the current moment. Man.
They fell for the okie doke. They think he is God.
Psalm 73. So she said, "For I was envious at the wicked when I saw, or I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked."
Verse 2.
Because everybody want to live nice. You don't want to live nice.
Right. That's why John.
We royalty.
Yeah, that's why John in Revelation 17 said, "I marveled at the wicked, man." Like we was like, damn, because all of it comes from the Lord, bro. Right. All the cars and technology is not out of earth. You know what I'm saying? So it's all the Lord's creation. So you still marvel at the thoughts that He's bringing and the things that He do. It's just a person that's wicked is the one that's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like using it for his benefit. His benefit is our help. That's it, man.
Yeah. Isaiah 31 and 2. Yet he is also wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity.
Yeah, because you got people that help this man. You got people that help this man. Esau Edom. That's why I said he had help and he had hope himself for. Oh no, he ain't everybody.
Isaiah 31 and 2. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity.
Right. The Lord ain't gonna call back his words just because you don't feel like coming to camp. The Lord ain't gonna call back his words because you don't feel like, calling on the true name of the Heavenly Father. You know what I'm saying?
What does Isaiah the 55th chapter say? His words going forth out of his mouth is going to be accomplished. Ecclesiastes 3. Everything has a certain time and a place. A time to pluck, a time to reap, a time to sow, a time for all that. Balance. But verse 3 in that same chapter says, now the Egyptians are men and not power, and their horse is flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand.
Yeah, because you got to realize that we're in modern day Babylon. So
spiritual Egypt,
all that. So the brother read in verse 2, I believe, right? That they help. They help this man's kingdom continue. So by helping this man's kingdom continue, that means that what? They trust in Egypt. So the scriptures tell you that with that First Kings chapter 8, I believe, the First Kings, Second Kings, I think it's First Kings chapter 8, dealing with the they was weeping for taboos. Because this is what's the word I'm looking for, man? Like Jake is intertwined with this man, man. Right. That's why Jeremiah 5 said they deeds that surpass the deeds of the wicked. So Jake is intertwined with this man. You know what I mean?
And that's why you don't get the same judgment as the wicked.
Yeah, it don't make sense to die and get the same judgment as your oppressor. You know? Get ready to
Verse 3. Isaiah 31 and 3. Now the Egyptians are men and not power, and their horse is flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down.
Right. You going with him, you're gonna fall with him. You know? That's what it just said. It said, though hand join of hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. It said that all that join unto him shall be thrust with the sword. So because friends don't fight like enemies,
Right.
and family don't fight like enemies. Yeah, we already fight like enemies. And it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Even though the food ain't,
Right.
but
Real shit going on.
yeah, but Jake is starting to see, like I was talking about Thor, he's like, man, I'm going to the grocery store, I'll be looking for shit that I normally buy and they don't be there. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to tell you what's coming. You know what I'm saying? But Jake is starting to see because it's the Lord gonna put it in front of you, man.
Right.
You know?
Right. And the Lord.
That's why they say, you know, they're going to be deceived by their own vain opinion. The only thing that's stopping them from following the Lord is their own vain opinion. It's like, it's right there in front of your face, bro.
Right.
It's plain. You just want to go for the sake of it.
Yeah. That's sickness by grace. Because if you had to understand this information to get a driver's license, I bet you get it. Mastery 70%, I bet you get the gist of it, depending on you getting your next meal.
So, and it shows you the mockery because it said in the beginning of the verse, it said their power is flesh, not spirit. You know what I'm saying? So the ones that help this man keep the words, they walk in the flesh, they walk in carnality and things. Therefore, they can't. It's impossible for them to dwell in the light. The light is Yahawah Yahawashi, man. So by default, they are that wicked one, man. You know?
Verse. The ending of Isaiah 31:3, and he that is hopeless shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. But thus saith the Lord, but thus saith the Lord spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey, when a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall the Lord of hosts come down to fight for the Mount Zion and for the hill thereof.
Right, because the scripture says the Lord's hand is not short that he shall not save. You know, because Jake want help from Esau. You know, but that's not true reparation. That's not true help. It says I got real quick one based off what I forget what the brother said, but pretty much Yahawah sent for the prophets to reveal certain things unto our people. You know what I mean? Speaking of these prophecies, and it made me think because the more these prophecies come to pass, the less we're gonna have to say to Jake, man. Nowadays when I come across family members and stuff like that, I barely even be having anything to say to them as far as prophecy go because at this point it should already be known. This is real quick. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 17. It says, "Also I said, watch me over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken." Because like the brother said, you tell a guy, don't go outside at this time because somebody gonna snatch you up. When they say, I don't care, I don't give a fuck. Not hearkening to the words of the prophets, man. Oh yeah. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, to whom shall I speak and give warning, that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised.
Right. See, that's what it's about. The uncircumcision, our people are uncircumcision because they don't want to take heed to the warning.
Right.
Read it again.
It says, to whom shall I speak and give warning?
To whom shall I speak and give warning? Go ahead.
That they may hear. Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach.
See, their ears are uncircumcised, and the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach. Why? Because they take the side of Esau. They get Esau.
Right.
So the scripture is truly a reproach to Esau. So if you side with Esau, every time somebody talk about Esau, we talk about the white man, slave, nation on slave. What are people say? What about the Chinese? What about the white man? What about they never concerned about themselves? They always concerned about everybody else. Because they taking on their enemies' approach upon themselves. That's how destroyed the Lord got them. Go ahead.
I'm about to go back to it. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, to whom shall I speak and give warning, that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach. They have no delight in it. Right.
They don't have no delight in this because we're not, coming over for Thanksgiving.
Right.
We're not trying to make a big Christmas list, and we scrambling and buy all these damn gifts. Like a chicken with our head cut off, spending money we don't even got.
Jacob don't see. Right.
The toys that ain't even gonna get played with.
Yeah, kind.
A lot of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of this stuff you gonna get in the time of family.
Right. And Jacob don't have no delight in hearing these things, man. Even though that they the truth,
Yeah, only what you know will help you survive. So
right.
What you know is what you worship. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to this knowledge and wisdom that the Lord has given us that's gonna help us survive. Not nothing carnally.
Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17 says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word in my mouth and give the warning for me. And the mouthpiece of YAHWASHI is the prophet. It says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die. So, like the examples the brother's been bringing out, tell somebody, hey, don't go over there. I heard they supposed to be shooting. Nigga, like, man, fuck it, I gotta go home. All right. It says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life. We're not out here for ourselves. We're here to uplift our office and ultimately uplift the YAHWASHI, and we out here warning, trying to save souls. It says, warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn.
We gotta do this. It's just say woe unto us if we preach not the gospel. Because it's in us. So if it's in us, we gotta bring it out.
Gotta flip and get those tokens.
Because if you don't want to have blood on your hands, it's gonna say it. It's going into it.
It says, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand.
You didn't warn them. You didn't tell them, don't run in the street, without looking both ways. You just raised them and just, you didn't give no advice concerning the street. Then when you get to them, you get ran over by a car. But you didn't warn them. And then part of warning somebody is talking plain, man. Like when you got your children and you raising them up, the best way to teach them how to get ready to start talking, you gotta talk clear. You gotta talk to them like they're dumb. Yeah, you can't be like, no, you gotta give them to them straight and plain, man. Oh, this is what it is, and they're gonna learn from you, man. Right? Because if you talking like a baby, they're gonna love talking like a baby. So like they got some sense, because babies know anyway, even when they real young, when they first come out, they can't communicate. They stand right. They vocal cords ain't developed. Getting frustrated.
Gabba juice.
Bring that out. This is book of Ezekiel chapter 44 and verse 9. It says, thus saith the Lord, YAHWASHI, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart. It says, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary of any stranger that is among the children of Israel.
Right. So if you're not hearkening to this word, that's gonna lead to your demise. And the word is only meant for Yasharala. Right. Psalms 149, what's that? 147?
All right, he said, no stranger among the children of Israel. Because you're gonna have strangers among the children. They stranger to YAHWASHI, man.
Like Isaiah 14:1. They not acting strangers, they just acting like them.
Right.
They under that vibration that he saw of whatever nation they captive under.
All right. It says, this book of Ezekiel chapter 44 and verse 9. It says, thus saith the Lord, YAHWASHI, no stranger uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh shall enter into my sanctuary.
You gotta be circumcised in the mind. You gotta have on that garment, the truth, the knowledge, right? The doctrine, the wisdom of YAHWASHI. That's being circumcised in the mind. It's more than just coming back into the truth and knowing you're an Israelite. You gotta, okay, what's the next level, man? If I made like YAHWASHI, that's speaking circumcising my mind. Your mind is your spirit.
Right. Real quick, and then we go into the circumcision. That's when we talk about the law. But of course, it is important to be physically circumcised. But, spiritually being circumcised, taking heed to the law, statutes, and commandments, and knowing that they're not going to save you, but they're guidelines. Like, how can you say you love the Lord and you want to serve the Lord to the best of your ability, but you eating BLTs when nobody looking?
But that was what the whole Gentile thing was about when Paul was on the scene, man. Because they was making an uproar talking about they not circumcised, this, that, and the third, but they was circumcised in the mind, man.
Yep. That can be fixed.
Just because this nigga got, you know what I'm saying? No, man, it's all about the spirit, man. It went from the physical to the spirit. Those are the Lord told the lady, the Samaritan woman, he said, the time will come that the true worshipers will worship the Lord. And those are the true worshipers, man, the ones that truly circumcised, the ones that truly repented. Right.
Ezekiel 20, verse 32. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone.
Hey,
African American, proud, right?
I'm Catholic.
Yeah, God,
Y'all
following
saw
after the ways of the heathen, right? But I got a quick one, real quick. This is book of Romans, chapter 2, and verse 25. It says, "For circumcision verily profiteth, if thou keep the law. But if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision?"
Right. Just like the brother said, like, it all starts like in the mind. Like, that's the whole controversy was about with the Gentiles. Like, they didn't grow up keeping the customs, but the Lord put the Spirit on them. You can't dispute the Lord and put the Holy Spirit on somebody. Just like right now, it appears to be Moabites in front of us, but if they can understand His word and receive it with meekness, like the scriptures say, then they're Israelites.
It says, "And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter and circumcision doeth transgress the law? For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly." Right. 'Cause you also got tares. You also got tares who look like Jakes, but they actually go back to the heathen nature.
That's why the Lord's going to separate them. Let them go together.
Yeah.
And then when that great judgment comes, we're going to see who really who.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know if I had a dream on that shit, bro. That shit was heavy. We was in the field. Middle of the field, it was a maze. It was the weed and the tares. I forgot how to dream. The Lord had me watch everything go together or something like that. And then I started trying to run, or I was watching the dude run, and he tried to escape, but he was a terror. He tried to jump through the weed, like he tried to jump through the corn or whatever. But he was a terror, and then he fell down in the ditch. You know what I'm saying? Because he looked like an Israelite, but he wasn't.
Right. Because the Lord got a weeding system. He got a weed. Yeah, kind of. Water. He got a sifting system to sift out, who we're dealing with and who we ain't, man. All the way down from the Israelites, all the way up to the heathens, man. It says, it says, "For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart in the spirit and not in the letter."
But that also goes back to like Esau trying to rewrite prophecy, man. He mixes seed amongst it, the people. You know what I'm saying? So he tried to okay, that didn't work. I can't mix my seed, so I still took it, right? All right, let's put them here. I still think let me do this. I said, "Oh, bro, anything you do against the men of the Lord, it will not prevail. It's going to enchantments against Jacob, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is in control, like the brother mentioned earlier, man. He's the Father of spirits, right? What we got the title?
It says, "For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart
in the spirit and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of YAHWASHI.
Yeah, because you do have men in these days, even in the ancient world, that will come before the congregation as holy, but they were really filthy, man.
Right, that's why they enlarge the likeness on that garment. You know, extra loud prayers. Like,
Yeah, matter of fact,
Scriptures talk about spies.
yeah, go ahead, bro. It's more, I think it's more than that too.
It says,
This is the book of Jude, verse 4. But there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of our power into lasciviousness, and denying the only Lord power and our Lord Yahushua Mashiach.
calm.
So you're gonna have certain guys who deny Yahweh. You know, you see them now. So you got IUIC, you know, different camps that don't even call them name Yahweh, let alone, you know, teach the correct doctrine, you know.
It's, it's Matthew chapter 20, 23. And 10 or 11. But he that is, I'm sorry, 9. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Hamashiach. But he that is greater among you shall be your servant, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. The Lord said he coming back for the meek. The meek shall inherit the earth, you know, because they have uh, the essence of the Heavenly Father, man, and what it truly means to, to dwell in love, man. Okay, the very embodiment of love, which also come with the ugly, the bitter, also, man. That's also a part of that love, man. So when you, and part of that is having mercy. You know what I'm saying? So when it's easy to maneuver through these different camps and different brothers that you come across just by their actions. The Lord told you in the book of Sirach, a man is known by his countenance. You know what I'm saying? When the man don't have mercy on his brother, you know what I'm saying? As soon as something come up, he quick to bring up something he did in the past. That man never loved you, man. He's not a man of the Lord. It says, well, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for ye neither go in yourselves, neither there suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Yeah, man. So they all talk. You know what I'm saying? You got guys that's all talk, man. You know what I'm saying? Brother, you should do this. Brother, you should do that. But they not doing it themselves. They're not willing to actually watch you go in because they're not doing it themselves. They don't know how to give you the proper defense for you to survive, man. Because they're not really doing it themselves, bro. So the time is coming. What the Lord is doing right now, he's having a sifting party. Okay, he's sifting the house of Israel. He's sifting the nation. He's dividing the world, man, so that the world can clearly see that this is the righteous, this is the wicked, man. And that's what this whole thing is about, man. Well,
If I got a real quick point to that. I was talking to IUIC IUIC dude, and he was pretty much going into how, you know, we believe that we don't have the breakdowns of Revelation. You know, believe that they too hard to understand. You know, but you know, just a quick one.
what? Who said that?
Some guy from IUIC.
He said that we don't have to understand the book of Revelation.
Yeah, he don't believe that the breakdowns in the Revelation exist, or you know, is he don't believe that the Lord gave a certain amount of breakdowns in Revelation today. You believe that it's too hard to understand. That book is too hard to understand.
See,
this Amos chapter 9 and verse 9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
y'all should watch videos on the sifting process. It's real fascinating. You know what I'm saying? Every parable the Lord gave and everything he referenced all had like attributes to it, like things that we actually did, man. And that's why it makes sense when you go into the ancient customs and you learn about how we actually was doing things. You're like, damn, that was cold how the Lord prepared it to the sifting process. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a delicate process. You know what I'm saying? If you don't pay attention, you can have things mixed amongst you can have things mixed among the seeds, man.
Right, right, right.
Go ahead, bro. I lost it.
Psalms 1:1, it says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do he meditate day and night." And 3 and 4 is the point. "He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in its season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper." And that's referring to the elect. Verse 4, "The ungodly are not so." Because the brother brought out in Amos 9th chapter that, the elect are not going to fall out of YAHWASHI outside grass. But verse 4, "The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away." So imagine taking a bunch of corn, husking it, taking everything you need, and discarding what you don't. That's what the Lord is doing with the elect versus the non-elect. If you don't need it, you're going to be purged. You're going to be elected for that fire. You know what I'm saying? This elect on the left and the right hand side. It's people destined to be burnt up. Zechariah 13 and 8. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 1:1. "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful."
Right, and that man is blessed because like we just read, the scripture say, "Blessed is the man." Prepare for the scriptures. The scripture talk about how when the Lord come back, it's blessed for a man that the Lord find him so doing. You know, so that's why that man is gonna be blessed. You know, that's what the brother was going into. You know, you having different elects. You know, left hand side and the right hand side. What the right hand side of the elect is gonna be found doing, man. You know.
This is this is Esther. In the Apocrypha. This is the Esther. I'm gonna start at 7. I'm starting at 8. And it says, "And the nations were those that were assembled to destroy the name of the Jews. And my nation is this Israel, which cried to the Most High and was saved. For the Lord hath saved his people, and the Lord hath delivered us from all those evils. And the Most High hath wrought signs and great wonders, which have not been done among the Gentiles." So everything the Lord is doing, the nation, these heathen nations, they get the information from the prophets that the Lord has set up, the men of the Lord. You know,
That's the Lord's mouthpiece.
yeah, that the movies they make,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like I was going into earlier, dealing with the mouthpiece. The movies they make, they watch our videos. That's why they're able to take them down and all that. So that when they go into the videos, they're able to know what's coming next. All right, and knowing when to come down and different things like that. So because the Lord is showing his signs and wonders unto his prophets. It says, "Therefore have he made 2 lots," because you got 2 lots, man. It says one for the people of the Most High and another for the Gentiles. So there's 2 lots, man. There's 2 and 2.
Right. Yeah.
All right, the balance of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And the lots of the Gentiles is death, destruction, so forth, so forth. And the lots of the Most High is prosperity, righteousness, salvation, right? Everlasting life. It says, "And these 2 lots came at the hour and time and day of judgment before the Most High amongst all nations." So now we're shifting into that part of the prophecy where both lots are intertwining, right? Where everybody is starting to see, okay, a super, what they say in the world, supernatural type of power intervening, and they can see that, you know what I'm saying. So everybody's coming to some type of realization of good and bad. All right, and that's how you know judgment is about to take place on the earth. Go ahead. All right. Go ahead, read that.
Book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 13. It says, "But he answered and said, Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up.
let them alone. They be blind, leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
Yeah, so the Lord said, what my father have not planted should be rooted up. All right, because you got something called artificial intelligence. All right, you got something called pseudoscience. You got something called nanobots. All right, when your body already have its own form of nanobots in it. Okay, so the things that's emerging in the earth is the transfer is a part of the transferring of kingdoms. But before the transferring of kingdoms, something drastic has to happen. That's what you see now, man. But the world can't comprehend it, man. Right? Go ahead, read that one more time.
It says, but he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind, leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 6. It says, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountain. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
Yeah, and the process is our people has got their resting place. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, the scriptures is our resting place. You know what I'm saying? I told you that in Romans 15:4. Okay, things are written. So it's written 4 times read for our learning that we through patience and faith the scriptures might have hope.
Right, but if I ask a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, is a Christmas tree in the Bible, they're not gonna know. But yet the Bible tells you not to put up a Christmas tree. So that shows that they fell from they forgot their resting place. Go ahead.
Now, continue on.
No.
Proverbs 5, verse 21. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. Verse 22. His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sin. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray.
Yeah, we had the one Memphis comedian. He got killed because he made jokes about young golf. With everything, people don't like somebody who always makes a folly on it. When they say you shut down without instruction, you got a lot of people that's like that. You have James that come to the truth, they say, well, my cousin or my brother died, he never knew about the truth. Well, everybody pretty much had an opportunity to hear this word. If they didn't have an opportunity, then hey, that can happen too. The Lord said that if you didn't know you could do with 3 strikes, if you do, you could do with many strikes. So everybody might not know about this too, but the fact of the matter is that the gospel went to the 4 corners of the planet Earth. And that's all that really needs to happen.
That's it on that.
I got one. This is for the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11 and verse 15. It says, before the foolish devices of their wickedness, wherewith being deceived, they worship serpents void of reason and vile beasts. Thou didst send a multitude of unreasonable beasts upon them for vengeance, that they might know that wherewithal a man sinneth, by the same also shall he be punished. We was going into, we tell Jake these things, and ultimately we understand that it's up to Yahweh whether he gonna understand it or not. But the Lord created 2 and 2, and he created man, for knowledge was to have knowledge, wisdom, understanding. So even for the 2/3 who gonna be punished, they still gonna come to a certain understanding.
It's like it's the most high simulation. Like,
right.
You don't necessarily have to understand your role, but the Lord will be magnified. 2/3 they're gonna be good because eventually they're gonna be reborn through the ones of the elect. This is all a learning process, because spiritually we all got like markers on us, different colors. Like, we all unique and identified by YAHWASHI outside. But right now, we just men trying to navigate what we understand as life.
We're going down to verse 21. It says, "For thou canst shew thy great strength at all times when thou wilt, and who may withstand the power of thine arm?" You know, because it's a heavily, it's, you know, even us, you know, who you know, hope that we you know, those men, and hope that we receive mercy. It's by we understand that it's by the Lord's arm whether we be saved or not. You know, it says, "For thou,"
because after with the sin is death.
right,
And it says sin is attached to this man's system, which is by itself. All right?
right,
So sin is death. Why people are going to those ways.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Just real quick, just a quick one. The Lord said, this is Jeremiah 50, 20. In those days and in that time, to the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought forth, and there shall be none. And the sins of Judah and David shall not be found, for I will pardon them for my reserve. So that's how you know that the sin,
right,
you know, the ways of this world is contrary to the Lord.
right,
You know, the Lord's going to have mercy and pardon those ways from amongst us tonight.
right.
And that day, our harvest will be white.
Because you, can I get a quick reset real quick? 'Cause you made a point that sin is a, you know, sin is attached. The way that the sin is dealt, you know, so that's Esau's currency. That, you know, that's the establishment of his currency that he got set up dealing with money. You know, it's connected to sin. Real quick, this book of Second Ezra, chapter 16, and verse. I'm gonna start at 41. Actually 40. It says, "Oh my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth."
Or because Esau coming in houses now.
Right.
In Australia, people getting taken to Q camps and C camps because they're not taking the Jews.
Right.
They're taking the Aborigines, the Japhetic, some of them, Japhetic, but the Aboriginal, the people of the island,
Right.
they're taking and put them in Q camps. Okay? Why? Because that's the wrath of this devil. Why? Because he running out of time, man. You know? He want to maintain a population under 500 million. That's the first satanic law on the Georgia Guidestone.
It says, "Oh my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that saith,"
during the time of the Apostle Paul, they were hailing men and women into prison. There was the Apostle Paul himself was hailing men and women into prison, persecuting the church. So it's the same thing that's going to take place this time around. Paul was living during a time of narrow season. And Domitian. And Julius was around the time how it was shot, but it's another one that Paul was with, Nero and I can't think of it.
it says, "Oh my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose."
Yeah, because the economy is
Right.
crashing.
And then even besides that, Esau is about to put into place a beast, the MOTB system, man. You know, so we, you know,
It's already here.
right,
He just about to flip the on switch on.
right,
And he ain't got to install nothing. Everything already installed.
right.
The 5G is already installed. The type of card readers, and, you know what I'm saying? The touches, sensors, and
Everything
stuff. That's already installed. A year and a half ago, they put RFID readers at the toll booths when you pass from county to county. So everything is already installed. Now you just got to turn the baby on, fire it up. Put the chips in you and fire you up. Get them nanobots moving in you, right? So that he can control you and turn your frequency up, make you go crazy.
Well, it's just like the movie Batman, Dark Knight. That's probably one of the best ones they ever made. That movie crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
What the brother just said, they went through the whole city. for days, man. For years. Planting bombs throughout the whole city. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever knew what was going on, man. And then they finally hit that switch. Boom, but they blew it back, and then they hit it. Well, that's what Esau is doing. He's finally hit that. He's about to finally hit that, try to hit that switch. It's gonna blow up everything. And then, damn, I'm trying to do
They
it.
ended up putting the judges on the in judgment, you know.
Yeah, but it was something else I was going to say.
I'm gonna keep reading though. It says, "Oh my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, because this is a battle, man. This is a war zone. You know, this is not a place of peace, man. Especially when Esau is the power of the man. You know, who blessed to the sword. You think this is a place of peace?
Well, I did a lesson on that called Behind Enemy Lines, man. You're behind enemy lines, bro. When you're behind enemy lines,
Right.
there's nothing for you, man. You know, it doesn't matter what you say. You know, y'all watch that movie.
It's a spiritual battle.
Right.
Yeah. But it will be battles that are going to be taking place.
Right.
People going to be fighting. People going to be waging war until the people going to be invading one another, as the scriptures say. So, but why? Because they don't have this truth, so they're not going to be spiritually fighting. They're going to physically fight. We're going to be in the midst of that battle, but we're going to be spiritually fighting it. We're going to be trying to stay out the way.
Still using wisdom. The scriptures say, "I'll make still gonna be trying to make peace," because the scriptures say, "I will make thy enemies to get peace with thee." You know, so Jacob is gonna move like a righteous serpent. But everybody, you know, well, you know, the Lord that the man that the Lord put the spirit on, they're gonna be moving as a righteous serpent in that time. But everybody else gonna be fucking going crazy, man. You know, it says, "Oh my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose." Right? You know, because it's gonna come a time when we're not gonna be able to spend cash money on this and that.
Well, the time is now, man.
Right.
This is it, man. This is it, bro. It's no about that. No, this is it, bro. We actually seeing it happen, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what.
You can see that we right in the midst of it.
This nigga's gonna be like 10 years down the line.
Everything that we are saying is, man,
The price is going up.
Right.
The food is the quantity of food is going down.
America's breaking records, man. You know, of shit that they never experienced, man. How have the golden city been get that, man? You got Isaiah 14.
it says, "He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose, and he that occupieth merchandise as he that have no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein." You know?
Right. You're going to get taken to a Q camp.
Right.
You're going to get taken to a C camp.
Yeah, they
You're going to build a house and then they're going to take you to a C camp.
just say that they shall cast somebody in delicate houses. You know? I go with that.
Isaiah 14:4. I started preaching about context. "And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers."
Yeah, man. How has the golden city ceased, man?
Right.
This is the golden city, man.
Yeah,
This is the whore that's never been touched, man. This is the one that stood amongst the waters, man, for all the people and the whole world marvel at, man.
even on the other side of the world, over there in China and Russia and Brazil, all these different places, they look at New York, they look at Hollywood, you know what I mean? They look at all these different.
It's crazy because I watched the video on that chick. She was like, man, she was an Asian chick. She was like, man, on China, well, majority of American food is bad. So she was like, I want to go in that field. I want to be a producer or whatever she said. But she said the only place to make that happen and the only place in the world is Hollywood. She gotta come to Hollywood and be like a Babylonian. Man. She gotta come to America and be like a Babylonian.
Esau is the gatekeeper. Esau the gatekeeper.
He the gatekeeper.
Amalek specifically. You got a precept? Come on, read that.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 20.
Job.
Start at verse 17.
It's Job 20. Job 20.
Oh,
book of Job, chapter 20, verse 18. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away a house which he builded not.
Right, yeah, he finally took. Hey, brother, your client had mentioned, what was that, Alaska? What was that, Alaska, where you saw taking the indigenous people, Australia, right?
Well, he took Alaska too. He took everything.
Yeah,
He took America.
everything
Pick a land. They all named after. It said Psalms 49. They call their lands at their own name. So this is the reason why you're gonna have to. It said according to his substance shall the restitution be. So the cowboy boots you got on, the Jeep, everything that all has a price tag to it. You know, and that's the amount of work that you're gonna have to work off in the kingdom, which really is an insurmountable debt.
Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belt. He shall not say of that which he desires. There shall
You're not gonna get your new world order. You know, he shall not say that which you desire.
Then shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his good. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him.
Yeah, the wicked goes into the laborers, the common workers, which they're going crazy right now in France. You got certain countries, mainly like these predominantly Edomite countries. They know what's going on. They see that they're being pushed into a corner and all their rights are being taken away. They see the game that's about to be played, or that's already being played. So it said, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him in the fullness of his sufficiency. So right now he's at a time where he's pushing his agenda to the fullest. He's full steam ahead with it. That's why they hit you with another variant. Okay, and they're gonna shut it down again. Okay, and they also said that the EU said that their passport is gonna have a 9-month expiration, which means what? After 9 months, you either gonna have to get another shot, or there had to be some other solution. And the other solution is gonna be the RFID microchip, the mark of the beast, man.
Verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahawah shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him.
How the person see. When he about to fill his belly, the Lord gonna cast his fury upon him. 144. When he ready to put the elect and concentration camp, it said, "Touch not mine anointed, and do my holy prophets no harm." So when the Lord had his devil on Isaiah 59, that the enemy shall come in like a flood, and the Lord's gonna lift up a standard against him. So when he move on the elect, that's when the Lord's gonna cast them down and rain the fury upon them.
And shall raise it upon him while he is eating.
Rain it upon while he is eating.
This is Job chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So this Esau has this plan in his mind, pursuing the Thessalonians, that he's going to be like the Most High, and that consequently that train of thought makes him believe that he's going to reign forever. But the scriptures clearly brought out that his rulership has a time and an end. It's a beginning and an end. So like you read it again, it says, seeing his days are determined. So just like how in Ephesians, the first chapter, the elect was established, the time of his rulership was established too. It says, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So when that day is come, not a minute after, his kingdom is done, his rulership is done. And that's going to be, the beginning of rulership under Yahawah, YAHAWASHI, King YAHWAH,
That's the beginning of forever. And their families, they're not going to die. They're going to be made immortal. We're going to be gods on the earth. This is Second Ezra, chapter 4, and 36. And unto these things, you know, the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seed is filled, for he has weighed the world in the balance. By measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times. And he doeth not move nor stir them until the said measure is filled. So everything has a point time of when it's supposed to take place. So if he started moving like this, moving like that, then he moved on his own door, but the door already had his already played out. So that, like I said, we showed this is what 2 and 13. The kingdom already prepared for the watch. It's already there, man. We just gotta play it out, man.
God.
We talk about how the earth is given to different nations. Disposition of time.
That's weird. I was just thinking about how the Lord allowed every nation on the face of the earth to have their rule over Israel. Yeah. So when you do Israel, well, yeah, that's kind of words. Yeah. The Lord gave every nation a part to rule
Over Israel. Because when you conquer Israel, you got everybody. Because Israel is the form of what we influence on everybody. So, you know, the other nations, they naturally follow us to a higher level.
Right.
So when you conquer Israel, you conquer it. Pretty much good. And then you nice rule over Moabites, rule over for a period of time. You can get a Canaanite rule over for a period of time.
And that's why, you know, when this thing pop off, this is, it's gonna be so chaotic because now we see majority of these nations even now have a part of oppression over the nation of Israel at once. You see, because I was meditating on this, because our affliction was 40. What the scriptures talk about, how we was pretty much done, but then, our affliction was 40. Now all these other nations is taking a part in the oppression of the nation of Israel.
God.
At once. You see, you got the Chinese looking over Jacob. You got the Israelites who plantation of the land over here in Ishmael. They do oppress. You got Jacob over here in Babylon suffering.
God.
And it's gonna be crazy because now you got these nations at war with each other over, who's gonna oppress Jake the best, man. Yeah.
That's what we was like doing. Who did?
I got one. Joel chapter 2, verse 2. That's a lot. I started at 1. It says, blow you the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm on my holy mountains. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains.
But when you have skyscrapers that fall, what happens? You saw that with 9/11. It turned into pretty much the whole city of the New York City was smoked out for like months. Months. And people have a respiratory problems now from breathing in that stuff back then, on that day. So that's type of darkness that's gonna cover these lands. It's got a lot of buildings say that the stone shall cry out and the wood and the timber shall answer. So these buildings gonna be crumbling. Yeah, that's twofold. That's going into the state of the man's mind and literal darkness, man. I did a video on that when they was doing that shit over there in Syria. I think that was in Syria, man. They showed the video, looked up in the sky and the whole sky was dark, but you saw the sun like behind the dark cloud, man. Because you know what I'm saying, it's gonna look like it's nighttime outside. Isaiah 13 says the sun coming dark.
take it off. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountain.
Yeah, what's the clouds also? The clouds also the UFOs. Okay.
A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountain. A great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it. That's not referring to actual people. That's talking about the chariots, the missiles. Like what? It says a fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burning. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. So shit all cool until you look up and be like, oh, what the hell is that? It's coming right at us. You know, alarm's gonna be going off. It's gonna be mass hysteria, and there's gonna be nothing that you can do.
Well, a lot of people, you might not even, the people that you know, you might not even know because it's gonna be so, everything will be so broken down in certain places, and it's gonna be so desolate, you know, because there's gonna be there's a destruction that's happening right now. The word destroy come from the word destruct. So this place is being destruction, not systematically with the supply chain and employment. So these are all various avenues. This place is destruction is being broken apart. You know, so it's gonna be fucked up, man. So people might not be no internet to know that the fucking missiles is coming. Yeah, you know, TV and radio. You just got an emergency radio. You could barely get a signal and shit. Like, yeah, they show you that in apocalyptic movies. Like, ain't no infrastructure. The infrastructure is there, but it's not being maintenance. So everything is, you know, broken down and pretty much out of use. You got to send the moon dark.
Isaiah 13, verse 9. Behold, the day of the Lord. No, I was going to start up. Start at like 3. Okay, time. Book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified one. I have commanded my sanctified one. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger.
That's these missiles that the Lord is about to unleash on these nations, on these people, man. Boy,
Even them that rejoice in my hiding. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdom.
Like it. Because the angel is the one that directs the missiles, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is what they don't teach in the church, man.
God.
And that's like the angels always be messing with the signals, dealing with these different Russian and other heathen nation nuclear missiles. Yeah, you had accounts of carriers coming through and messing with the signals, disabling the nuclear weapons.
Dude, everything got spirits behind it, bro. Every single thing got vibration.
You can't say that it was Russia that disabled our nuclear missile.
Right.
It don't even make sense. It's a nuclear system program. And you mean to tell me that you don't have your best anti-virus and anti-software?
It's expensive.
Yeah. So you know it's YAHAWASHI, the Lord just playing with you, man. You know, just showing you what type of low level you really want. So
A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord.
Yeah, you know what's the antivirus stuff that you what's it called? McAfee? Yeah, it was another one too. But it's like the antivirus shit that you always pop on the computer. So you know, Esau, you got the best one. That's just a low level that you buy for your computer. You know what I'm saying? It costs like $3. You know what I'm saying? And that shit sometimes don't even work.
Right. I never used that shit.
You must have had it back. You must have had it back.
The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle.
Yeah, the army. And the Lord is still gathering the nations for World War III right now. You got Russia threatening to invade Ukraine. Ukraine is allied with NATO, you know. And America is allied with NATO as it stands right now.
Scripture said, the least of the flock shall drop them out.
And so we know ultimately Israel, that's the least of the flock, talking about Israel, ultimately it's some conflict is gonna happen in the land of Israel that's gonna draw America into World War III. Pursuant to the prophecy that the brother gets that real quick, that scripture. I think it's in Jeremiah 49. Because the Lord said that the least of the plot shall draw Babylon out. Because America is Israel's bitch. You didn't know? All your money go to Israel. All your money go to defend Israel. You know?
Bottom bitch. That's how you know.
Yeah, America's the harlot. That's what a harlot is. She's a bottom bitch. You know, she's a
Yeah, Jeremiah. Yeah. This is book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and verse 45. It says, "Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Babylon." Right, because the Babylonians have their counsel against the Lord's people. Well, YAHWASHI got a counsel against you. Right? It says, "And his purposes that he have purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them."
Why? Because Israel is pretty much not necessarily the people that's there, but the land of Israel and Israel, the topic Israel in general, is the whole controversy for all of this. It's the controversy of Zion. So the reason why you're gonna be destroyed, the reason why you're gonna get drawn into World War III is Israel, because that's the big lie that you're trying to cover up in the first place, man. It's like a lie that just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually that shit just busts.
You can't tell no truth because it's so much.
There's no lie of the truth.
Yeah, it's like
So you got to cover up the next lie.
you gotta cover the next lie.
Right. That's why there's no lie of the truth. And that's because if it wasn't the first lie, it would never be no other lie.
Yeah, that land, bro. Like the brother was saying though, like everything. That's how you know these niggas are bugged out, man. With this Kemet and all these different shit they believe in, bro. The whole world is centered around the concept of Israel, man. That's what this whole thing is surrounded by, bro. Good and bad.
They're going to speak about the controversy of Zion.
Yeah, exactly, bro. The controversy of Zion, bro. You know, and that's what everybody talk about. That's what's always in the news. That's who if we make a video about it get taken down. That's what this whole thing is about, man. You got it?
Isaiah 34. I'm gonna read through it real quick. The point is in verse 8. Isaiah 34:1, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHWASHI is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. And the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll."
Hold on. It's like that's saying a lot because
Isaiah 34, verse 3. "Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood."
Yeah, because the Lord told you in the book of Numbers that the blood cannot be cleansed but by the one that shed it. So this man's government, his system, is going to be destroyed by the blood, the people that he killed and murdered
With bloodshed.
with bloodshed.
Yeah, 6,000 I hated blood. Even blood shall pursue thee.
Exactly. And the Lord told you there's going to be stinking carcass because there's going to be so much death on the earth.
It said that there shall be nobody to bury him. In second Ezra the 15th chapter.
There it is.
It said that the body's gonna be laying around in the street.
Yep. So it's going to be so much death, man. You got it.
So that's what I was saying. Like, you might not even know when the missiles come. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be all these dead bodies.
Real talk. He said the righteous will be scarcely saved. We're going to be in a midst. Like, man, it's going to be some shit that you really, bro, you could never imagine, bro.
Isaiah 34:4. "And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll." That's talking about the mushroom cloud from the impact of the nuclear what? You know, the mushroom cloud. It says, "And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falling off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree." Yeah. So dealing with this man's satellites and his planes and fighter jets and anything that's gonna be up in the sky, drones, all that's gonna be cast down. You know, it says Because man, when these bombs hit, man, these bombs are so powerful, man. It's gonna only reason why we're not gonna be phased because we're gonna be in angelic vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna be in energized vehicles. That's the only why we're not gonna be affected. Because it's gonna shoot up into the atmosphere, man. Like the impact and that pressure wave is gonna shoot up into the atmosphere to the point where everything that's up there is coming down.
Oh, it's heavenly technology, man.
That's why even Apostle Tar said, even the people that's in bunkers, if they're on the land of America, they're not gonna survive, even in a bunker, because this place gonna get rocked, man. The Lord said it's gonna rock to and fro like a drunkard. You ever seen a drunk? You got it? Isaiah chapter 24, verse 20. I started at 19. It says the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. Still talking about the missiles. This is all we're reading is going into the nuclear destruction. And even you got certain small ballistic missiles that get shot. Verse 20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage.
Yep. all over the place.
So like that, you gotta imagine the earth shaking like that. Damn, like this whole tower, the whole tower fall off.
A lack of control, man. A drunkard don't have control of his walk, man.
Yeah, the earth gonna knock off his axis to an extent.
Yup.
For a second.
Yup.
That's gonna be rock.
I keep bringing out, bro. So like, I keep bringing out the Yellowstone, man. The Yellowstone volcano, man. Like you can't.
They got the San Andreas fault. Can you Google it, bro? Google San Andreas fault, because there's a fault line from California, and I think it divides California and Nevada. But so if something hit, it said, get Revelation 11, come out of Revelation 11 and 15, because it said it's gonna be a great earthquake. What do you think gonna cause that great earthquake? That's the impact of this missile, man. You can read Revelation 11 first.
Oh, yeah. Revelations 11 and 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were a great voice in heaven, saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of 14. The second woe. It's Revelations 11 and 14. Oh no, 13.
Okay, kind of good.
And the same Revelation 11:13, and the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell.
Right. So yeah, that's the great earthquake. That's going to be caused from the impact of the nuclear weapons coming from Russia, coming from Iran, coming from North South America, from various nations that are NATO in the EU, to hit America.
And it said the 10th part of the city fell. That's because America is divided into 10 regions. So this place it's not going to exist anymore. So the 10th part of the city, the complete city, like this whole system.
Yeah, that's why I said it was playing 7 styles, which is the number of completion.
Kai.
You got the San Andreas fault.
No, I got it. You got it.
Isaiah 24:20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, it shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgressor shall be heavy upon it.
Yeah, so if you ever see like a real earthquake, like people in the building, they'll jump, they'll be back, fall down. That's how God is being treated.
Kai.
It says San Andreas fault is a continental transform fault that extends 1,000. It says if the words are taken
It says it is going to take place a boundary between the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate. And this ocean is right. The latter strikes them. The point was that it's a big ass crack in the earth. Stuff like that. It's going to be to the purpose. It's going to make it more glorious. You know? I need y'all to really understand how detrimental this
Now you got bug out.
volcano is. You got bug outs that treat that like fire from volcano. Like fire not gonna come from volcano. Like fire.
God.
Fire not gonna say. It's throwing that out there. I heard that doctor. Like you said, bro, the ICP missiles when they hit the ground, they gonna cause the earth shake by them hitting the ground. So when they hit the ground, it's gonna shake like volcanoes. It's gonna shake the pipelines. It's gonna destroy these buildings with all these stoves and gas tanks, gas stations.
God.
I was gonna say that's not even gonna make a dent in the fire. Like what's really gonna be the power plant. Like don't get this stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It says Yellowstone. It says Yellowstone volcano. It says Yellowstone caldera, sometimes referred to as Yellowstone super volcano. It's a volcanic caldera and a super volcano in Yellowstone National Park in the western United States.
Because it's the biggest volcano in America. Yes, it's a super volcano. Right?
God.
It says the caldera and most of the park are located in the northwest corner of Wyoming. And the scriptures say experience created in the time of trouble.
He just did one in New Zealand. God.
Yeah. But like you said, it's not the lake of fire. Fire is not coming from the volcanoes themselves. It's missiles that's going to trigger other things, bro. There's no volcano. There's no escaping, bro. An impact like that is really all they need to it's like
They're already agitated. So stuff like that is just gonna, particularly Isaiah 34:5. But my sword shall be baked in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yahawah BAHASHAM is filled with blood. It is made with fatness and with blood and with the blood of lambs, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams. For Yahawah BAHASHAM has a sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
God.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say because so that's what this is. The Lord is preparing His altar. You know what I'm saying, for this great sacrifice. The Lord said He set up many sanctuaries. So these little sanctuaries is preparing that feast, preparing that gathering for the Lord. Man, this ain't nothing but a feast for the Lord. Man. You know, so He has a sacrifice. The Basra, America is the capital city of the entire world. Everything flourishes out of America. Or they import and export out of America. That's why in Revelation 18 it said they weep and wail for her destruction, man. All right. And when you go into that word Basra in the blue letter, it says a city and a land of Edom. So this is the one sacrifice that Esau is gonna get right, because it's not even Esau's offering, right? We're preparing an offering for the Lord, right? We're seasoning the nations, man. We're flavoring the nations and preparing them for a sweet savor for the Lord, man.
Nah.
That's what this is, bro. All right.
says, verse 7, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made with fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. Yeah. Wait, for the controversy of Zion, for the covering of the heritage of the children of Israel.
Like you were just saying, that controversy come from the confusion of them being in the land of Jerusalem.
Yeah, and them telling us that we nothing. You know, that's why all the conflict is happening right now. Get Joel chapter 3.
Okay, come on.
The Lord said He was going to gather all nations into the valley of Jehoshaphat. You know, He said He's going to gather to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which Jehoshaphat is Yahawah, which means Yahweh's judgment in the Hebrew. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, bring it up.
Joel chapter 3, verse 3. Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahawah.
That's talking about the Middle East. Yahawah is the Middle East. Okay? Got it.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel.
The word plead means to judge. So He said He's going to plead with them there. He's going to judge them there. That's why the place is called Yahawah. Shaphat means judgment. The place of Yahweh's judgment.
For my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
That's a part of the controversy of Zion. You scattered us amongst the other nations. You know, it said you sold us to the Grecians. From one end of the earth unto the other. You sold the children of Israel. We built up the Great Wall of China. And then we built up America. And then we built the Taj Mahal. And you nations, you sucked us dry, man. And we built up the world. The entire world was built up off the back of Israelites, man. Okay? Because we the form of all things. We invent things. You don't invent anything, especially not Esau. Edomite definitely don't invent nothing.
Just like Jesus is the form of all things.
Right.
Just start by all these things, you'll find out that.
How was ancient Egypt made great?
Exactly.
Because Joseph was in there, man. If Joseph wasn't in there to make Egypt great, then Egypt wouldn't have been great. He said that the Lord prospered the house of Potiphar, Pharaoh's guard, because Potiphar was the one that bought Joseph from the Egyptians. And He said, Lord said that He blessed his house for Joseph's sake. So, you know, the Lord do everything for Israel. That's why the scripture says, Israel servant, is He a homeborn slave? He said that we was nourished time to time. Can you get Revelation real quick? Revelation 12. It said that we was nourished from the face of the serpent. The Lord got this devil taking care of you Israelites, man, because the Lord has compassion on His people. You know? Even it says that the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. So even when Esau take care of you, He feeding you poison. Even though He give you a easy life, the rent is $18. You living in the slums. It said the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel, man. Okay, you got GMO, you got chemtrails. Why is that a thing? Huh? Go ahead, bro. 12. It's around. Revelation 12. Get it in your sword.
I got it.
I got 12, verse 7.
All right, come on. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 7. It says,
that they was nourished for the face of the serpent.
Okay, it says, verse 13 says that when the dragon saw, this is Revelation chapter 12, verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth a man child.
Yeah, that's what's happening right now. We cast this man to the earth because we're exposing him to his lies. Because his lies have him on a God level. If you believe his lies, you would think this motherfucker was a God. But then we come out here and expose him, we cast him to the earth. Look, thou art just a man and not God.
It says, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished.
Then now the next verse goes, rewind a couple thousand years. I mean, not a couple thousand, but a couple hundred years back. Okay, to when we was brought on ships to this place, America. Read that again. It says, and to the because the Book of Revelation is not in chronological order as far as chapter goes. You know, certain verses might be in chronological order, but everything's not in chronological order. It jumps into different time periods of history. It says, and the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she's talking about America, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. Yeah, so you being nourished from the face of the serpent, man, here in America. You know, and during the time we was in chattel slavery and things like that, because ultimately the Lord has compassion on his people, man. So the Lord, even in the worst captivity, at the end of it, it don't even seem like it. So, that's on real quick. It's 2 of them. You either one works. You put fish into the mouth. Got it. Yeah, it's a good 38. That's the one that's real. Ezekiel 38, verse 1. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, and the word of Yahweh BAHASHAM came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And Gog and Magog is referring to Russia. The land of Gog and Magog is where Russia currently is now. The Russians are Edomites. They're not the nation of Gog and Magog, but they reside in the land that Gog and Magog was at. So they are known prophetically as Gog and Magog. It says, verse 3, and say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws and bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shields, all of them handling swords. Yeah, like the Lord said, He's gonna put fish hooks in the mouths of the nations. He's turning them back to their ancient customs. Mainly Russian. Yeah, mainly Russian to that Soviet spirit, you know, or that what is it, USSR? Yeah. You know, yeah, that dominant spirit, man. So put the Carmanians, he's stirring them up to the beast like nature, you know, so they can wage war on it said remembering their nature. Yeah. So remember their nature. What's the nature of the Israelites? That he's a wild man. Wow. He said his hand shall be against all the hands of his brethren. Yep. It says here, Ezekiel 38. Now it's going to list the armies that Russia is pretty much defending and in alliance with. Okay. And also he's putting the hooks. When you go fishing and the fish is caught on the hook, you're able to direct it wherever you will. You know, so the Lord is bringing them to the valley of decision. They and the Lord bringing them, you know, for that grand battle, man. Well, thank you, man. Ezekiel 38, verse 5. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, all his bands, and many people with thee. Yeah, so Iran, which is Persia, Ethiopia, it said Libya. It also mentioned Gomer, which is Turkey. All these nations are in alliance with Russia. Okay, why? Because it was written. That was the roles that they was gonna play together. It says in verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia pretty much is a guard unto these nations, which is an ally. This is why America can't really move how they want to move on these nations that's listed. Persia, Iran, Turkey. Yeah. America can't do what they want to do with them because they're allied with Russia. And that's how he's being stirred up, because America is an ally of Israel. It depends on Israel. Nobody like Israel. Yeah. Nobody like Israel but the bloody Americans. It says here in Ezekiel 38,
And I even
you're right, that they playing
recently had a lawsuit. You had some Americans suing some Jews for something that they did. I mean, suing some Israelis for something that they did about some business in America. So it's just these nations, man.
Ezekiel 38 and 10. I'm gonna jump down to 10. It says, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh, BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, the Most High, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates."
That's America, man. That's America, man. The virgin that's never been touched, man. You know, and these nations gonna touch America, man.
Yeah, cause when these people, a lot of people in America, they don't have like a lot of homes, you don't have fences. Yeah, man. Like, you don't even have a fence, let alone a wall. You know what I'm saying?
Like anybody come to your house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That shows you that the people, they don't understand, they don't really understand life for real. So you supposed to have some type of fortification about your dwelling place.
Hey, we got that, we got that problem dealing with, it's an opening in the fence, and you can have a random people just walking.
When I was in high school, like my backyard had a fence. And all the high school kids that cut through our backyard. I mean, we was cool because we was cool with everybody, so it wasn't a big deal, but that's cool the point. People are allowed to trespass and invade, okay, to take a spoil. It said, verse 12, to take a spoil and to take a prey and to turn thine head upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land.
God.
Yeah. America was known as the land of Arsareth in the scriptures, which is which means another land. What is it in the Hebrew? Rataza, some Rataza. But another, I forgot how you say that, another. But anyway, yeah, okay. All right, read
Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord.
And it's a burden to Egypt, man.
You know, this one of the burdens us teaching. Yeah. That's in Isaiah 13. And then another burden is going to mention is the chariots and the division.
It says the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud.
Yeah.
It goes into the chariot. That's a burden. That's another burden.
That's a curse on the earth.
That's why the Lord said Esau is wearied in the multitude of his counsels. He got all this shit hanging on his back. It's like I got a word on my shoulder. That means they got a lot of burdens. Okay?
It says the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt.
It should come into Egypt. That's what he did last time, man. Yup.
It says to make inquisition.
Yup.
He got a gigantic what do you call it, magnifying glass? Investigate, like
investigate. You go to that word inquisition. You gotta come and investigate those that haven't just got hurt. I heard the
yeah, a lot of times the chariots they visit these military bases. That's why Esau got to declassify because the chariots the people they ain't really going to normal people. They going straight to Esau, straight to the gates of the Nobel, to their military bases and playing around with it.
They ain't worried about normal small ass civilians coming to the bases, bro. They worried about the chariots.
Oh my God, Dusty. No, they ain't worried. They're not worried about you.
Bro.
Shall come to Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence.
Yeah, and that's why this whole holiday season, the most expensive Thanksgiving. They say that people don't want their family members to come over because they're not juiced up. That's them idols being moved. Cause and then it's a girl I went to school with. She had sold me something, but it wasn't the right product. You know what I'm saying? And she ended up getting jacked up, and she ended up being in the hospital. on Thanksgiving. So she on Instagram, so she's so sad. I'm thinking like the idols of Egypt shall be moved because you want to be there so you can participate in that idolatry, and it's separated from you. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord pretty much got you people in a place where you can't even worship and participate in your idolatry how you once was. That's the idols being moved. Because the presence of the Lord is here, man. He's shaking the kingdom.
That's beautiful, man. That's a lot of the testimony. And I was thinking about my grandmother, because they all believe in like the catching of the CD. You know what I mean? So my son was sick. I was like, "Hey, he's sick." You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, she was willing to get sick just to hug him, man, and kiss him, bro. This just shows that these people like they have no backbone, no strength about them. What's about to come to this place, bro? All the shit that's what they family turning on, they ain't gonna know how to take that shit. They ain't gonna believe what the fuck is happening, bro.
Yeah, and eventually Esau gotta bring out a real sickness. So this one could be the real, like a real thing.
Real talk.
That really have people dropping dead.
Right now, it's more so a doctor.
Or they can just turn on the 5G and say, and people start dropping dead, and then they say it's because of the news. You know what I'm saying? They do whatever. There's so many avenues they can. That's how you know that they're not turning back. Because if I could come up with a plan for him, then of course he got his own plan. He already, you know what I'm saying? And we coming up with all these scenarios for him and shit like
right now, they've been mapping this shit out for hundreds of years.
Right. Exactly.
Verse 2, continuing on verse 1, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of
The
it.
mindset, the shadow, the things that the doctrines that they push shall melt, man, with further heat. Okay? And by the mouth of the prophets, bro. Go ahead.
And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother.
Yeah, man, these Egyptians is going crazy, man.
Yeah, the Babylonians. The brother, they sent the video over in France. They protesting, and they like throwing stones. They was throwing stones at the police. It was crazy. There was so many rocks those kids thrown. And one of the riot police got hit with the stone and was like knocked out cold. So like the guard, they had to steal. They trying to drag him out of there, and he looked like it. The leg, all you see the leg getting sealed. I said, damn. So they going at it, man, because over in Europe, like I said, these other countries on the other side of the world, they know what's going on more than Americans. Americans are lost in the sauce, man.
Real talk. Real talk. My wife had a class at her job. She had a class with a chick that was from over there. And she was asking her, like, bro, y'all do everything so different over here. She's like, this ain't the same where I'm from. This, that, and the third. I can't remember exactly what it's talking about. But these countries, bro, they be into some way different than America, bro. Even though the customs and the mindset come from America, right? But the way they eat their food, the way they wear their clothes, you know what I mean?
I was just gonna mention real quick because I think that those friends, rights and stuff, they started in like 2019. Man, they've been writing, exactly. They've been writing for years. It ain't no non-stop. It's no peace for the end. It's no one to spit on that fire. It's no way to take it. No, the Lord gonna blow on the fire. He said, what will I do? You already did it. He said that means that he wanted to already be earned. Yeah. This is sweet baby Jesus that they don't tell you about.
Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
Because right now you got verbal attacks on America from Iranians and different people around the world. They verbally attacking America. Talk about economic. Yeah.
It's already when war starts. What war starts is merchant wars, and then it moves into physical bloodshed. Yep. So it's already a war. You're already in the midst of it. It's just the Lord's going to allow it to escalate to the complete and utter destruction of this place. And the scripture mentioned that the Egyptian go, how do we know that this is Egypt? So a Christian gonna pop up and say, that's talking about Egypt. We're not in Egypt, we're in America. But America is spiritually Egypt. It tells you that in Revelation 11:8. You got the dollar, you got the pyramids on the dollar bill, you got the cryogenics, where they preserve a vessel. That's not but mummification. Okay, that was going on in ancient Egypt. And then the elder Yahshua just did a lesson about the Oscars and the Oscar statue you know, that goes back to an Egyptian idol too, man. So I mean, and we can go on for days. You got the city of Memphis. You got Memphis over in Egypt.
The Mississippi River, the Nile River. Like this place was created
To mimic Egypt,
bro.
because they worship those Canaanite gods. You know. No.
Isaiah 19:3. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof.
That's it ain't got no answer. The Lord is destroying the mighty men of Teman. You know, the wise men of his tribe, the wise men of Esau. He's destroying America, the concept, the doctrine, the philosophies. Look at the administration. The government. Look at the
Joe Biden administration.
Terrible.
You tell me that there's wisdom there. That's right. And the Lord said, Apostle Randall was going into how, you know, it's not easy to run a kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of different things that you got to attend to and keep up with and maintain it. Yeah, you stress here and you got to go here. So, and the scripture says he's weird in the multitude of his counsel. So this man is really losing sleep, you know? And that's why, hey, you know this saying, man, as soon as you start prophesying over there with the nice little arm over our head, they
know.
They're working on the building. But look, no, they're working on that. They're working on the building. Like, it's going to open up the beat up. That shit wasn't nothing for years. And we go there for 3 weeks. And now they about to renovate.
Hey, never seen nobody in that motherfucker, bro.
Hey, that's pretty much it, man. Right? Hey, the Lord in this edifying to remember of YAHWASHI, Shah's the neck. We're going to turn to the east, give all praise, honor, and glory to
YAHWASHI,
giving us the spirit to do this lesson, this prophesy the downfall of American Babylon the Great. Lord, when those edifying to remember the Lord is elect to the beast of the field. Shalom. Yeah, no, man, I ain't got no bread, man. I got the bread of life, bro. That's all I got.
You come to hear the word.
God.